What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, hey, yeah. It's your girl, Nicole, from Real Talk Recovery. Yeah. Okay. Hey, y'all. Me and Nate just got back from the Walmart. We went on a little extravaganza because he was bored, still feeling under the weather. His fever is breaking, but then it comes back and then it'll break and he'll feel a little bit better and want to run around the house. Hey, Classy. Hey, Lisa. So I took him to the Walmart. We got him a little toy and actually two pretty cool toys. Do y'all's kids watch Ryan's toy review? If they do, Ryan has these secret eggs that the kids can get that have like mystery toys, right? So he wants to show you guys. Come on, Nate, come show him what you got. Okay. And he's got tattoos. Hey, Mom. So, okay. I wanted to talk to you guys today about active addiction or recovery from addiction for moms.
Look what they have. And look at my tattoo.
Go ahead, show everybody what you got.
They have
Show them your tattoo. He got a tattoo, guys. It says Ryan's World. And then he got another one with, remember right here?
It's Gus the Gator.
Gus the Gator.
And this other one, and this, and this.
Okay, go ahead and show him. Say bye. Nana's on here. Tell her, say, I love you.
I love you.
Tell her, say, Nana, when are you going to come get me?
When are you going to come get me?
Okay. Yeah, he wanted a tattoo because his daddy's got a tattoo on his arm right there. So he was like, I want a tattoo. And I opened the mystery egg up, and it had 2 sheets of tattoos, some stickers, a little Ryan figurine, and a ball. And then I also got him a Paw Patrol toy. You want to bring your Paw Patrol toy in and show him? He collects all these toys. You guys got almost every one of the toys. Like, he went upstairs. He's like, I'm going to go get all my Paw Patrols. And so he comes down with all his Paw Patrol people to go along with his new Paw Patrol people. So he has so many toys. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about mom shame, mom guilt, and why my son has so many toys.
And also look what I can do too.
Okay. Oh, it turns into a fire engine. That's cool.
Is there a little spot?
Who's that guy?
He's a
Robo-Dog?
How does it know?
I guess I just know. You know, moms, they know everything, huh? So.
How do you take this guy out?
Oh, let's take our time. There you go. Nana says, very cool, Nate.
This guy go in here too?
Probably. Let's see.
This one is...
Cover your mouth. No, his little face gets in the way, but he won't stay in there. Oh!
Did I have to defend our front the bank?
Yes.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay, are you leaving these guys in here with me?
This is how you punch.
Hey, girl, if you're going to be an aunt, you got to start sending presents.
This is how you punch. And this is not how you punch.
That's right. How do you punch?
This.
With your... Yes. Why do you punch with your thumbs on the outside? So you don't jam your thumb.
Mommy, can I punch with you?
Go ahead, one time. On my arm. Hey! Okay, good job. Did you see that punch right there? That was a good punch. Did you have your thumbs in or out? Good.
Wait.
I don't know. His dad taught him not to keep his thumbs in, but to keep his thumbs out. So you guess y'all know who's getting punched. Daddy's at work. So he's practicing on me. So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about addiction and shaming moms, shaming women who are like seeking help through either medically assisted treatment or 12-step treatment, or maybe they're doing an unconventional kind of treatment that may be something that you're not familiar with. And because they are a mother to a child, we somehow hold them to a higher standard than we would a normal person, which I understand because they have a responsibility to their children, right? But what I mean by this is, like, it's mostly what I see happening is I see people who kind of judge moms who are on medically assisted treatment, when I'm telling you guys, the best thing a mom can do, especially if she's pregnant and she's struggling staying, is get on medically assisted treatment. Because what happens is, lapse in recovery, then you're at high risk, right? Hey, Sandra. And so, and what I mean by high risk, I mean by you're at high risk to contract diseases. You're at high risk to, overdose and die. You're at high risk to put your fetus in danger. You're at high risk to, have your child be born addicted. And so when you get on medication assisted therapy and you have a doctor and you have a team of people who are there to help you and to watch over your baby and to watch over you, it's a lot better than to being ashamed and staying out in active addiction. And because that's what I did. Okay, I'm speaking from experience. I was pregnant with my son and I was too ashamed to get help. Okay, all right, Mom, I love you. I was too ashamed to get help. I wouldn't reach out and get help. I wouldn't reach out and ask anybody. I wouldn't tell anybody I was an addict. Nobody. Okay, so the whole time I was pregnant, my son could have died because I would get sober and I would stay sober for like a week or maybe 2 weeks. And then I would relapse, and I would go out and be IV using drugs. And so I'm telling you guys from experience that shame and the way society looks at mothers who need help while they're pregnant because they're addicts, we have got to change the way we talk about it. We've got to change the way we look about it. We have to change everything, because harm reduction for mothers who are in active addiction is the #1 priority. When someone is struggling, you guys, with a disease of addiction, they're not in their right mind. They're not thinking, I'm hurting my child. Just like in my addiction, when I was using during pregnant, my mind told me, well, at least you're not doing opiates, because if you were doing opiates, your son would be born dependent, right, on opiates. And so I justified shooting methamphetamine, instead. And that was how it happened to me in active addiction. And I was in active addiction through my pregnancy. And so I know from experience what it's like to be afraid to tell anybody, like, I'm a drug addict and I need help. I don't want to hurt my baby. But I also know what it feels like to be so afraid to say anything, because you're afraid that when you do have your baby, they'll take your baby away. So you just don't say anything. And I was on Instagram, and I follow a lot of accounts on Instagram who are in recovery. They're in recovery. They claim to be in recovery, and all they do all day is post memes about drug addiction and Suboxone, and how Suboxone isn't clean, and how medically assisted treatment and NA don't work. Just like, I don't know, I guess they think it's funny, and sometimes I get a chuckle out of a couple of the memes, right? I'll laugh out loud too, but a lot of them are extremely offensive. Oh, I love you, Cher. Girl, you're an addict in recovery. That's what you say, you know? I mean, only you can diagnose yourself with a disease of addiction, Cher. None of us can tell you whether you're an addict or not. But I think you know deep down inside what the answer to that question is. Here's what I say. If we have to ask ourselves the question, am I an addict? Then we probably are. If you have to ask yourself that, then you're probably an addict. You know what I'm saying? Because normal people don't have to ask themselves that question. Normal people are like, yeah, I'm not shooting dope. Yeah, I'm not getting high. Like, no, I'm not an addict. Or I've only done it once or twice in my life. Or maybe I can go on the weekends and party and then put it down. But for us, the answer is clear cut. Like, yeah, we're addicts. We don't have to, you know, guess whether or not we are or not. Hey, Tabitha, what's up, girl? I'm glad you're here. So that's what I wanted to. So I wanted to talk about the situations with moms and medically assisted treatment, because I watch a lot of girls who I found a girl. Her name is Rachel. I have linked her channel in my community tab before. If you guys haven't went over to her channel and checked it out. And I also linked a girl named Concha Princess, but her real name is Les. And I think they were both on medically assisted treatment while they were pregnant. I'm not sure, though. But anyway, their kids are happy, healthy, and doing well. Also, at the clinic that I go to for Suboxone, there is a group for just pregnant women that are in active addiction, who need help, who have gotten on Subutex. And they are all doing so good, you guys. And that's the thing. It's like, you can go and get help and get put on Subutex and go to groups with other pregnant women and be getting therapy that you need. Or you can try to sober up on your own, struggle and keep relapsing, go into labor like I did, and be higher than Cooter Brown when you have your kid, and totally risk having him taken away from you when he's being born. Or you can go in there high, get by, and then getting him taken away from you a year later. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why not? Let's nip it in the bud now. Do you know what I mean? Because it really, really is important for moms out there to know that there is no shame in needing extra help. And there's no shame in needing to be put on something that's going to help you to not harm yourself or your baby. You know, I wish that I had the strength and the courage to reach out for help when I was pregnant, you guys. Because I'm telling you, my story would probably be a lot different if I had.
I feel like I just want to wipe it off.
You do? Why?
I don't know.
I like him. Why don't we take these guys off, put them right here, and there you go.
Well, these ones feel funny.
Let me feel it.
They're itching. They itch me.
Is it itching right now?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, we'll get it off in a second.
I know how to get it off.
Oh, that's good, Sandra. Come on, I'll wipe it off, Nate. Stop. That's good, because I think it's just really important, you guys. I just wanted to make a video and kind of talk about that a little bit, because I saw some people on Instagram just like, I don't know, when I see people laughing at the expense of others,
Both of them are not.
I don't think it's funny, you know?
Both of them are not.
I have a dry sense of humor sometimes too, you guys, and I can be kind of crude. We all know I can be. But laughing at people who are struggling with the disease of addiction, who are reaching out for help. Oh, good job, Amy. Is that Amy? Amy, good job. So are you going into the treatment center to get off the last 20 milligrams, or are you going to work there? That is so awesome, girl. Well, 200 milligrams. So now you're going there, right? Share last time. Good job, Amy. Amy, that's how I feel about it. I am on 10 milligrams of Suboxone. I was on 12. I went down 2 milligrams to 10. And then in May, I'm going back to my doctor's office, and I'm going down 2 more milligrams to 8. Then I'll go down 2 milligrams 3 months later to 6. Then 2 more milligrams to 4. Then 2 more milligrams to 2. And then down to 1. And when I get down to that last 1 milligram or so, I've already told the girls here that if I get down to that last milligram and I'm feeling like I can't do it on my own, you best believe my ass will go into treatment. I won't even think anything about it. You know what, Jessica? Because my medication is a pill, it's not the strips, I think I've been taking less than 10, because what will happen is I take my pills by fourths. So in the morning time, I take half, and then I bust it in half again. So I take those 2 little pieces. And then by the afternoon time, I still have the other 2 little pieces that I take. And sometimes I forget to take that other 2 milligrams. So I've been taking about 8 religiously. And I will not really, honestly, I'm not going to be able to tell anything until I get down to like 4 or 2 milligrams. Because a lot of the times I fluctuate in my dose. Oh, baby. Go get me a wet rag out of the bathroom and I'll wipe the rest. But I will, y'all, I am not even tripping. Like, I will go straight into the detox. For real. Because, wet. Because having that extra help, having them to put you on Librium, give you Ativan to keep you comfortable, and it's like A1. In fact, I might even talk with my doctor, and when I get down to that 1 milligram, I might just say to him, hey, can you guys put me in, like, inpatient, like, here at the hospital for, like, a week, and, like, taper me off the rest.
Where's your little one?
Here, let me see. Oh, I'll get it off in a second, Nate. Hold on, let me get some alcohol. We have to wipe it with alcohol. Okay?
With alcohol.
But that's the thing, like, we cannot be ashamed to ask for help. And I feel like that's what happens. I feel like people are like, well, I can't go to in treatment because, you know, I have a job and everything, and you know, kids, and this is what I have to say to that. If you don't go get help and you don't go get, you're not going to have those things. That's what I keep trying to emphasize to people, because they're like, oh, I can't do that. You know, I have a life. And I'm like, dude, you must not be a real drug addict, because with me, if I get on that taper and I start struggling and I go back out, I lose everything. So I guess going into treatment for like 2 weeks or something isn't a big deal to me. I've done it so many times, you know, that going into rehab, it doesn't really bother me. I'm not afraid to do it. Okay, hold on. Let me see your hand.
What do you mean, my arm?
Your arm. Is that better?
It works.
Okay.
But I'm leaving that one on.
That one looks cool. I like that one.
Yeah, because it says, look at the orange review or why in the road.
Okay, hold on, guys, okay? Come on. Let me get you set up. I'll be right back, guys.
So you just bring... Here.
What are you doing, son? Okay. Are you? Sorry, y'all. Do you see my bra just hanging there?
I just said hi to it.
Y'all, I had to go to the bathroom, and I could not take you in there because my stomach literally is bubbling. Whew. Okay, I was worried. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up with you guys. I was worried about the withdrawal, but as long as you taper, you'll be successful. Hey, Cher, when you came off the Suboxone, did you have withdrawals? I know, Amy. Same here. Same here. I'm going to tell you, though, I had plenty of practice asking for help, girl. I've been to 5 rehabs. And the way it was for me is because I became so used to, like, being in active addiction that I would just go. It was almost like I would go into rehab to take a break. Do you know what I'm saying? And to, like, recharge because I would be so tired from being out in the streets getting high, you know? And so I would almost use treatment as like a way to just get back on track. And then I would get out. That's unfortunate, but it's the truth. I would get out after 30 days and nothing would sink in. Nothing would, like, I would just be like, oh, whatever, you know? Hey, Jason. Girl, Lisa, listen to this. Y'all know my husband is the manager of a large chain grocery store, and they have had to start putting cameras over their meat section because this is what happens, you guys. And the only reason I know this is because I used to do this. You can go in there and steal like steaks, crab legs, all this expensive meat and trade it to the dope man for pills or cocaine or crack or whatever. So that's what happens at the store that he works at. They'll come in and they'll get like the bags of crab legs and like the big old giant value pack steak packages and run out the front door with it. Oh yeah, they take everything. The dope man will take anything you got. Girl, you know, now listen, I don't know about you guys, but my dope man was, at least for opiates, the black guy. And I ain't trying to be funny or anything, but he would take meat, he would take gift cards, he would take cash, he would take shoes for his kids, he would take gas cards, purses for his old lady, candles for the house. They took everything. I could trade anything with that guy, but I mean, he preferred cash. Y'all know how that is. So, okay. So anyway, my nose is running so bad. I'm sorry, guys. I know it sounds gross when I'm like this. Going over there and seeing, like, okay, this is what set me off yesterday. I went over there and this girl, or I don't even know if it's a girl or a guy, but she has a Instagram page called Waking Up Sober, I think is what it's called. A meme, okay? And the meme was a woman with Suboxone strips all around her. And I don't even remember what it said, but it was something to the effect that if you're on Suboxone, you're not sober. You're not in recovery, right? You're not clean. You're not in recovery. You're still on drugs, right? And
I have to go tickle.
Okay, go ahead. I'm so glad that you're not.
But don't let nobody see me.
Nobody can see you, buddy. I promise.
Oh, nobody can see me.
I guess it just bothers me because
can see me
I know how many people are in active addiction that are like.
Nobody can see me because they're in the phone.
Right. Who are deterred from reaching out and getting help, you know, even if it's not medically assisted treatment, because they see judgmental, holier than thou people who think they know it all. I'm here to tell you guys right now, like, I hope you guys know, like, I am not the end all be all of recovery. Like, I am learning every day just like you guys are. And I'm working really hard on being a better person every single day. Good boy. I make mistakes, you know. I make mistakes, guys, you know, and it's like I'm not perfect, and I'm still trying to learn, you guys. Like, I'm still trying to, like I said, be a better person. Supposed to do, right? But like I said, I'm human, and there's some things that I just like can't. You guys. Can you guys, I'm not still buffering. Sorry. Let me know. Okay. Yeah, it's fixing to start raining here, you guys, and I have Wi-Fi. I hope y'all understand. So anyway, with the whole, like, I don't know, just, I want people to know that if they need help, I don't care if they are on Suboxone, if they're on methadone, if they're abstinent, if they're not abstinent, like, I want them to know that they can always, like, hit me up and I will be there. I will help them with whatever they need. Like, okay, for instance, when somebody reaches out to me, you guys, and they need help, okay, finding resources for treatment, maybe scholarships, anything like that, I always leave it up to that person on what kind of treatment they are trying to look for. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, I think you should get on medically assisted treatment, because quite frankly, I don't know what you need. Okay? You know what you need. If you're honest with yourself and you look at your behavior from the past, however long you've been in active addiction, right? And you break it down, okay? Then you can tell yourself, yes, okay, every time I've tried to get sober, have I given it my all? Have I really tried to get sober and done what was asked of me to do, right? Okay? If you haven't given it your all and given it a real good try, then trying abstinence might work for you. Going into a 30 to 60 to 90 day treatment program might work for you. Now, on the flip side, if you're an addict who has been to 3 or more rehabs, hasn't put together any substantial amount of time sober, who maybe has even been to prison before, medically assisted treatment might be something that works for you, but it might not work for you. What happens for every drug addict, you guys, is what happens is a shift in perception and willingness happens. Okay, that's what happens. So during the time that you are in rehab or on medically assisted treatment, if you are avidly working towards a better life in recovery, what will happen is a shift in your thinking will happen. A whole psychological change will happen. And you will say, you know what? I need to get sober. Or, you know what? I'm going to work hard on getting sober now. Right? And it will happen, but it happens slowly for a lot of people. It doesn't happen overnight. So you could be on medically assisted treatment for the first year, fucking around, getting high, doing stupid shit, and not happen. But then a year and 3 months down the road, something could change, and you could say, wait a second, I'm wasting my life. I want to get sober. And then you start working towards changing your life. You know, I used to think that it was one size fits all. I used to think, that all drug addicts just needed to go to AA, work the 12 steps, get a sponsor, and stop bullshitting, right? I used to think that, y'all. But you know what? It's not true. I have seen so many people try to do other programs that just didn't work for them. They just weren't the perfect fit. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you guys, like, in my 12 plus years of getting high, all right, I maybe had a year of total of recovery in those 12 years. And that was because I was locked up because of that, right? I was locked up in prison. That's why I had that long. Other than that, I couldn't string together a couple weeks. You know, I would relapse all the time. So getting on medically assisted treatment it has helped me to change my life, y'all. It has helped me to become a better person and to build a foundation in recovery, right? And you know what I also think, you guys? I also think that not everybody's recovery is going to look like abstinence. Not everybody is going to get off of medically assisted treatment. There's some people that will be on it for the rest of their life. And if that's what they want to do and they're happy, they're thriving, they're joyous, and they feel great about their decision, then what business is it of mine? What do I have to say? You know, like, if you're living your best life and you're on methadone, Suboxone, Vivitrol, Sublocade, or whatever, then keep doing what you're doing, okay? Keep doing what you're doing. Just take it one day at a time. Like I said, that thinking, that perception, that change, it comes, you guys. It comes and it just happens. And if it happens, then that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. You know, with marijuana, being on marijuana, there's nothing wrong with being on marijuana. The only thing I have to say about marijuana maintenance, you guys, the only thing is if somebody's on marijuana maintenance, I want them to be very, very, very careful when they're getting their marijuana. If they're not buying it from a dispensary and they're buying it from a drug dealer, then what that tells me is that's putting that person in harm's way. That's putting you in a compromising situation, okay? If you have a safe way to get pot and it helps you to not be high on dope, then, like I said, more power to you. Well, there you go. If you grow your own pot, that's fine too. I don't have any opinion on marijuana, you guys, because they're legalizing it, first of all, and I've seen what it's done for people's anxiety. I have no idea who that is. I've seen what it's done for people's anxiety, and I've seen what it does for people who are really, really, really bad, have, what is it called? Post PTSD. And so...
They didn't know that it can do this. They didn't know that it can do this skin.
Go ahead, baby, show them. Cool. It
Shoots.
shoots, you guys. So I just want, I guess I'm kind of different, right? Because I'm very open-minded to whatever works for each person. But I want each person to get to a point where they look inside themselves. Like for me, okay, here's the point I've been getting to with medically assisted treatment for me. I'm getting to that point where I'm asking myself, am I still benefiting from this medication, or am I just taking it because I have to? Do you know what I'm saying? So I even challenge people who are on marijuana. If they've been on marijuana and smoking marijuana for 5 years and have stayed sober from all drugs for 5 years except for their marijuana, I would challenge them to be honest with themselves and say, am I using this marijuana just because I feel like I have to, or almost, or can I live life without it? You know what I mean? And I just think that each person will get to that point on their own time. But that's where like the program and being honest with yourself comes into play. And only you can make that decision, It doesn't matter what anybody else says, like, oh, you've been on that for way too long. That's only meant for short-term use. Do you know what I mean? Right. You have to come to that conclusion with yourself. That's you being honest with you. What up, baby?
Can you open this?
Yeah. You have to be honest with yourself. And that's that's the point I'm getting to with my medically assisted treatment, is I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I could probably do it without, and that's why I'm tapering, right? But that's different. Everybody comes to that time at different times, right? And so bullying or like commenting on other people's recovery and saying, oh, well, you shouldn't be on that for that long. All this BS. Guess what? That doesn't help anybody. It's not going to help them change. It's not going to help them say, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't. You know what it does? It puts them in defense mode. That's what it does. Talking from experience here. It makes that person think, you know what? They don't know what they're talking about. I'm not talking to them about this. Do you know? And it makes them not want to open up and not want to share about what they're going through. It's so important to just, like, if you're being honest with yourselves, okay? When you get into recovery, you stop practicing old behaviors. You stop being dishonest. You stop being manipulative, okay? You start doing the next right thing. You start trying to be a better version of yourself, all right? And through working on being a better version of yourself and changing one day at a time, you get to a point where you can look inside yourself and you can say, okay, maybe it's time. Maybe I am just using this medication because I can now, right? But that inner dialogue that you have with yourself, it's on your time. It's nobody else can tell you when that time is going to happen. And so that's why it's so important for us to remember that recovery is case by case. It's what works for you, you guys. That's why I don't get into conversations with people about about medically assisted treatment, especially if they haven't ever been on it and don't understand. I won't even talk to them about it because there's no point in even discussing it with somebody who hasn't been through it. You know, there's no point. Because all they're trying to do is make me see their side, right? Is make me see their opinion as right. And I'm going to stand on what I believe is firm. I've seen so many people taper off medically assisted treatment before it was time. And they have struggled to stay sober, you know? So why not build yourself a good foundation, okay? Build yourself a good, steady foundation in recovery. Stay on your medically assisted treatment for as long as you need to stay on it for what works for you. And when you're ready, you start a taper with your doctor. But even ask your doctor, say, Doc, you know, I've been on it for this long. Do you think I'm ready yet? Do you think I'm in a good spot? That's what I said to my doctor. I asked him, I was like, do you think I'm like in a place where I'll succeed? You know, and my doctor was like, yeah, let's do this. I think you can do it. And that made me feel so good because I had went to him before, like at a year, and asked him, and he was like, I don't think you're ready yet. You know, but we had that kind of relationship to where I trust the advice that he's giving me. And I know that he's not just putting people on Suboxone because he wants money. He's a good doctor, y'all. He's a good person. Like, I cannot stress to you guys enough how good of a person my doctor is and how thankful and grateful I am for him and his practice, because when I first met him, I was in rehab and I could not stand him because you know what he did? He told me about myself. He told me that, you know, oh, you mean your best friend tried to save your life and you're mad at her? Oh, wow, you're a good friend. And I was so mad because I was like, this dude's straight telling me about myself, you know? He's calling me out. And pissed me off. But now I look back on it, you guys, and I'm like, I'm grateful that he did not let me just slide by on my own intentions, because my intentions were not good. I was in treatment because I just wanted to get out and get by. You know, I wasn't in treatment because I wanted to change at first. At first I was like, I just got to get my kid out of DHS, right? And I was really just shallow, and like I said, I just wasn't focused on what really needed to be done, and that was get my son and get sober. I was focused more on just not looking bad, you know? Not looking bad and not letting people think that I was a bad person because I lost custody of my child. But I can be honest with myself about that today, you guys, you know? Well, my doctor's not like that, Jessica. My doctor is an amazing doctor. And like I said, he's also a psychologist at the treatment center that we were in. And he'll straight up tell you, like, if you come in there and you're 17 years old and you've never tried to get sober before, he'll tell you, try to get sober regular. Try to do this program and let's see if it works out for you. I will keep you on it. I will monitor you closely, right? And that's the thing. But you can't, like, if somebody wants to get put on medication and they're telling you, no, doc, I want to get put on the medication. I mean, he can say, I don't recommend it, but like, if somebody's life is in danger and they're going to die because they're shooting heroin, then yeah, he's going to put you on the medication. But my doctor is not, he's not like that. Now, there is a clinic in my town. Oh my God, Jason, I'm so proud of you. Well, okay, so whenever I had asked him before, I had only been on the medication maybe like, I think it was like a year and a half when I asked him, when I said I was thinking about tapering. And let me tell you what had happened, okay? It was probably like 3 months after I had gotten called in and my prescription was short, okay? So I was selling my prescription to somebody, selling parts of it. Remember I told you guys about that? And I had gotten caught being short on my prescription. So that was the first key that showed them that I wasn't ready to taper off yet. Okay. My second thing that was going on was, I lost my job. Remember when I told you guys a story about working at Nukes? I lost that job right at a year sober, right? Then I started another job and I lost that job at 2 years sober because they let me go right at the beginning of Thanksgiving. So what had changed was in my life, I had all these chaos things going on. I was losing jobs. Neil was kind of in between positions at his job that he works at now. And we both go to the same doctor, you guys. So they know our whole story. I had just gotten, like at a year, I had just gotten custody of Nathaniel back because it took me about 8 months to get my case shut at DHS. So he just like wanted to make sure that I was fully ready. And I hadn't finished working through the 12 steps with my sponsor yet. So, you know, now I'm finished working through the 12 steps. I have a savings account with money saved in it, you guys. I have a stable home. I got my mouth and all that stuff worked on, okay? Because that was one of my goals, was to make sure that my teeth and everything were taken care of. I got all my legal fees and fines paid because I had to get my license back. I had to get a car. I didn't have a car. Yeah, I didn't have a car for the first 2 years I was sober, guys. You know, it'll be 4 years this July. The first 2 years, I didn't even have a car to drive. So I was relying on like rides from my mother-in-law, you know, rides from Neil, rides from friends. And because I didn't have a license. So a lot has changed since I last asked him, you know. There's so many people that go to the clinic, you guys, like, and there's so many people who want to get into the clinic. I mean, it's no skin off my doctor's back to let me off, to taper me off. He's got 12 people behind me wanting to come into the clinic. And I have been in the clinic for a long time. So, he doesn't make as much, they don't make as much money off me because I only go there every third month. I don't go every month. So therefore, I don't have to pay but every quarter. So they're literally making a third of what they were making off me before, because I don't go every month like I used to, because I'm gotten to a status in my recovery where I don't have to go every month. You know what I think, Jessica? I'm going to be straight up honest with you. And this is what I was talking about on Instagram. I think more people make a lot of shit up. I think a lot of people omit the truth and don't tell the whole story. I think a lot of people don't say, well, I had relapsed 6 times prior and my doctor was worried because I wasn't coming in and pissing clean. So he didn't want to take me off my dose. That's what I think's happening. I think a lot of people don't tell the whole story. And that's why medically assisted treatment gets a bad rap. Because there's people out there who say, oh, my doctor won't let me off. He just tried to bump me up 2 milligrams. But again, they don't tell you that they were just fucking relapsed, overdosed on heroin out on the side of the road yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That's how drug addicts are. They lie. They don't tell the whole truth. And that's what gives it a bad name, is people not telling the whole truth. It's so crazy to me, because I have never in my life, the whole damn near 4 years I've been on medically assisted treatment, had my doctor tell me no. He said, I don't think you're ready, but if you want to, we can go ahead and start one. He always leaves it up to me. It's always my decision. He would never tell me, oh no, I'm taking you out. He leaves it up to my decision. I'm in charge of my own recovery. Do you know what I'm saying? You guys also have to realize that a lot of people will scheme and scam, right? So they get into the clinic and they get their doctor to write them the biggest prescription they can get, right? So that way that they can sell the other half. Okay? And so then they get caught. And then they say, oh, my doctor was giving me so much. My doctor, he was over prescribing. But what they don't tell you is like they were selling the other 2 strips a month that they would get. Y'all see what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys, I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've seen it all at the clinic. And that's why it's so hard to believe anybody, because I've seen so many people just flat out fucking make up lies. And that's why I'm sharing my good experience that I've had on medically assisted treatment, because more people need to know that it's not bad, you guys. It's not bad. It's saving people's lives. People who are struggling to stay sober are living their lives. I mean, look at me. I'm alive because I'm on medically assisted treatment and because I've chose to make changes, but I couldn't change you guys at the beginning. I needed help. You know, I have worked my butt off to remain clean and sober. But I'm telling you right now, like, I needed the help at the beginning. Oh, I know, Jessica. I needed the assistance, you guys, for real. So, but I'm telling you, please believe me, you guys. I know so many people, and Jessica, I know what you mean. But those people, I promise you, girl, I promise you, they're not telling the whole truth. They're not telling the whole truth. That's 99.9% of the time what it is it's people manipulating, lying, not telling all the truth. Because I want to put mascara on because I'm doing a look. I like doing my makeup and talking to y'all. Even though, you know, me and Nate are just chilling. I saw this mean comment on this video the other day about me doing my makeup and then not ever leaving the house to show anybody. And I thought, how would you know if I left the house? You only watch 1 hour of my life. Do you know what I mean? People are so strange. So, I know from experience that a lot of people, because I see it when I go to the doctor's office, right? I don't exactly, like, I'm doing this because I want to feel good about me. But me and Nate did just get back to the house
I feel like I want to go sleep.
Okay, take a nap, baby. I'm right here. Take a nap. Mommy's right here. I know, you don't feel good? Do you think you need some more medicine? Come here, let me feel your forehead. Why do you have to leave? Okay, I lowered my dose down too. Yeah, see, Lisa, you just take your time on whatever you have to find what works for you. But we have to remember, you guys, like, we can't worry about what other people think. Like, I spent so long worrying about what other people thought. You know, if 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 milligrams is good for you, then you just do what you need to do, okay? It's an addiction, you guys. I love you, Jason, so much. Be good. Call me if you need me, okay? Don't get too cocky around them pain pills now, right? Respect that shit. So, respect them because they will come for you. They will come for you. I used to compare, like, what I was on, right, to everybody. I was like, oh my God, am I on too much? Or am I on too little? You guys, like, so many people are so different. Like, all of our bodies are so different. Okay, good deal. Love you, Jason. That makes me feel better. You know how I am. I was going to start blowing you up after I got off here. Yeah.
I watched something on somebody's phone.
No, I'm on my phone. Okay, well, I'm about to get off here anyway, but you guys, please, if you're on medically assisted treatment, just do what works for you. Take your time. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Don't worry about whatever anybody else's dose is. Don't worry, okay? Like, just know that you're doing what's best for you. Take your time. Focus on building your foundation in recovery. And you know what we'll do tomorrow when I get off? We'll talk about, what we'll talk about is, girl, I don't know where your ranch went. Ranch dressing? What we'll talk about is how to build a foundation in recovery whenever you're on medically assisted treatment, or maybe you're on medical marijuana or on kratom, but you want to be honest, you know, and if that's something you guys would want to talk about, we can talk about, like, what places are accepting, you know, when you come in, and let them know where you're at in your recovery, and I'll kind of share some experience with you guys about different groups and different places that I have found that I felt safe in, you know, because not all places are like, oh, you're on medically assisted treatment, welcome. Some places will literally tell you, oh, well, you're not welcome here, you can't share. Right, it's just a time, and everybody has to take it slowly. You know, because you guys, we all have something that we are falling back on. Whether it's Suboxone, whether it's kratom, whether it's pot, whether it's food, whether it's caffeine, whether it's nicotine. We all got something, okay? So nobody's perfect, and nobody is, like, purely sober, you guys. Like, I don't know anybody that's, like, purely sober who's, like, not even drinking caffeine or smoking cigarettes. Do you know what I'm saying? So, we're doing good over here. All right?
Have some chocolate milk or juice or cookies.
Yes, baby. We're growing in our recovery, and that's all we can do. So, anyways, I love you guys. It was a really good conversation today. I really enjoyed talking with y'all. And I'm going to get Nate settled in, get him some chocolate milk, charge my phone up, and then I'll come back on.